So welcome back to another. It's me, Cam from Cam's Cobb, and welcome back to another daily Chelsea transfer news video. Where today is the big one. Kai Havertz looks like he's going to be going off to Arsenal, so I'll be talking about that, along with pretty much all our players that are linked with Saudi Arabia, could be going, are going, or have declined. Without further ado, I'm Cam from Cam's Cobb, and I do daily Chelsea transfer news videos. So if you want to stay up to date with Chelsea transfer stories, subscribe, like, turn on the bell, all that jazz. Without further ado, let's get on the first story. Now, the big main story of today is, of course, Havertz looks like he's going to be joining Arsenal. Now, it's weird to think that I started this channel almost 3 years ago, and that was when Havertz was joining. He was filled with so much promise, potential, the new wonder kid. I was so excited. It was at the summer where Ziyech, Havertz and Werner joined, where it's looking like on this window, all three of them are going to leave. But yeah. Firstly, going off to SR Collins, who have said Arsenal remain in talks with Chelsea over a deal for forward Kai Havertz after having an opening offer rejected. The Blues want around 70 million for the German international, but Arsenal hoping a deal can be struck for around 60 million. And yeah, that's what's been going on the last week. It's around the 60 to 70 million pound mark for Kai Havertz, which is weird to think, seeing as we signed Havertz all those years ago for 62.5 million. Yes, he's been a bit shocking sometimes, but once again, he did score that Champions League winning final goal, which will always be remembered for. So, after all his goals and contributions to me making your money back, it's very good. But mainly going to Sky Sports Germany, which is what's kind of sparked off this whole saga that looks like it's going to be joining Arsenal very soon. News, Havertz. He's very close to joining Arsenal now. All depends on the final offer from Arsenal. Havertz keen to join Arsenal now as personal terms are almost agreed. Arteta loves to see him in addition to Jesus. Bayern inquired about conditions in the last days, but the negotiations with Arsenal were too advanced. Bayern informed, therefore no offer / hijack from Bayern yet. Transfer fee package expected at least around 80 million euros all in. So it looks like it's going to be 70 million pounds, which means we've actually made money on Havertz. Todd Bowley, well done, Arsenal. Although, you know, I don't really like Arsenal. I want Kai Havertz to do well, and hopefully Arteta can revitalise his career. Pep revitalise John Stones' career, something like that along those lines. Very interesting to see how many goals Arsenal are going to score with Jesus and Havertz in the same team, because they couldn't hit a barn door. But I'm very excited to see how they line up next year. But yeah, that is Havertz looking that's going to be gone. The main point of this window, of course, in January we spent big, but this window is to offload the Deadwood and hopefully sign a couple players but not go as mad. So that's a good start. 70 million pounds, can't say no. On to next stories. Now going to Santi JFM, who kind of just breaks down all the other stories I'm going to be talking about today. Chelsea hopes to conclude 3 sales this week. Saudi Arabia, Ziyech to Al Nassr, Koulibaly to Al Hilal and Mendy to Al Ali. The players have already accepted the offer and the Saudi government is in London to reach a full agreement with Chelsea. Once again, Todd Bowley's found another loophole. The infinite money glitch seems to be selling to Saudi Arabia. The Saudi League has been, you know, a bit of a joke recently, but of course with Ronaldo joining and the copious amounts of money they have, it's going to be a bit more competitive with Europe. Ruben Neves joined Al Hilal, I think it was, for 55 million euros yesterday, so that shows that average players can go for quite a lot of money, so hopefully we can get as much money from the Deadwood as possible. But going more into these deals, going to go to Fabrizio Romano, said, understand Edouard Mendy has now agreed personal terms with Saudi side Al Ali. Contract will be valid until June 2026. Negotiations at final stages of a Senegal goalkeeper to join Saudi League from Chelsea on a permanent deal. Here we go soon. Now it looks like it's going to be around 15 to 20 million pounds, which is of course similar regions of what we signed him for. All these players is a bit annoying because if we run down Ziyech, Koulibaly and Mendy 2 years ago on our Champions League run was one of the best goalkeepers in Europe. Koulibaly a couple of years ago was one of the best centre backs in Serie A. Ziyech was one of the most promising talents of that Ajax team. I mean, looking at it now, you'll be happy to get at least some money from them, but at their prime, you were thinking what could have happened and how much money we could have got from them, but that's what there is. Going to Jacobs Ben, who has said Hakim Ziyech has agreed personal terms with Al Nassr. A deal would be Chelsea could be struck today. Once again, recuperating similar amount of money that we paid him for. I think it's not about the price, it's just getting them off our wage bill and inflated squad, which of course was why, you know, managers like Graham Potter found it really hard to cope with how many players we had. And finally, Into Fabrizio Romano talking on Lukaku. Understand Romelu Lukaku has decided to continue in Europe despite important proposal received from Saudi. He's not joining now. Lukaku appreciates the effort, but he's not ready to leave European football. Inter have ball in their court, no agreement yet with Chelsea. Now, Pochettino and Chelsea have made it very clear they don't want Lukaku to stay at Chelsea. We all watched the Champions League final and thought, what are you doing? If he just scored, we could have sold him, but hey, I don't think Inter have enough money as what Chelsea are willing. I would love to see how much Saudi Arabia would have offered for Lukaku. It would probably be like £100 million, get the money back, something like that. But yeah, he wants to stay in Europe. We don't want to loan him back to Inter, want to get rid of him, so it'll be interesting to see who actually wants this player. Any club in Europe, please just have him. Anyway, that is all the news for today. It's going to be very Saudi Arabia heavy the next week. Of course, we want to be selling players, but on the coming days, I'll be talking about Mason Mount, Moises Caicedo, and of course Jackson, who it looks like we're going to be signing. So yeah, stay up to date, like and subscribe, all that jazz, and I'll see you tomorrow.